Blakeman. So this review is for The Rainbow Lens by Katherine Blakeman. If you want to check out my review, I have just posted that. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below, and if you're on my blog, the details are in the post. And this is the video review. So The Rainbow Lens by Katherine Blakeman. This really was the second chance romance of a lifetime. Like, really, really was. Lydia and Gillian broke up after university. They've not really spoken to each other since, so they're kind of estranged. And for Gillian, her daughter has died, she's divorced, and she finds herself agreeing to join Lydia for 10 days away in Italy. And it's crazy, and it's something she shouldn't want to do, but she does. And they both find that spark they had is still there, but being together is something that Lydia thinks can't really happen with her children being the way they are, and thinking the way they do, that they won't accept this relationship because of their beliefs. And so she really sort of struggles with exploring it outside of the 10 days in Italy. So I really enjoyed this. It was a different take on a second chance romance. It was focusing on outside influences and family being the bigger factor in whether Lydia was going to commit, than just sort of focusing on her emotions in the situation and the past that they'd shared. So when you've got an external influence, that's equally difficult, because that's not just you having to decide something. And they went on quite the adventure, and as expected, after having sort of been apart for so long, they've built their own lives, and they have grown-up children, or in Gillian's case, she's lost. And these things were a bit awkward at first. They were trying to get to know one another again in that more intimate way that they had previously. So it felt there was a bit of like resentment for how they'd broken up, and it took them a while to be comfortable around one another, especially for Gillian. But once they relaxed and they started talking, and she shared about what had happened to her, it was clear that they shared more than just sort of a friendship connection, and that really had something between them that they should really sort of look into and explore more. So I adored how close that brought them. And then as with any true romance, there had to be bumps and drama all along. And my heart broke for Lydia, because she was really struggling with what she was feeling for Gillian and wanting that, but also with her responsibilities as a mother. She didn't, even though, you know, growing up children, but she just didn't want to, do anything that would push them further away from her and make them not come to her if they needed something. And her life hadn't been easy, and in sharing with Gillian that, you know, her children would not like them being together, she was making sacrifices for her family. She was having to put that motherly instinct ahead of all else. And when we finally got to actually know Lydia's family and their feelings, life was doing a great job of already starting to change their views and putting them in situations where they were probably a bit more accepting than Lydia had expected them to be. So it gave her a chance then to perhaps get the real happiness that she wanted, that I don't think she'd been expecting. But again, it all comes down to that communication piece and not talking to each other about things. And so there were some great complexities in the emotions for both the characters in this story, and it was such an emotional and engaging read because everyone had been through so much. And I love a second chance romance. They're some of my favourite stories, and it's because they really give characters opportunities to grow and write things from the past, and Lydia and Gillian had those same opportunities. So I was just really hoping that they would finally, you know, find peace and love and be able to embrace all that they could share together. And so yeah, it was a really lovely second chance romance, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you will too. I'll pop a link in the description so that you can grab a copy of The Rainbow Lens by Katherine Blakeman, which I hope you will. If you've read The Rainbow Lens, would love to know what you thought of it, so please do share and let us know. If you haven't read The Rainbow Lens yet, but you're planning to, it's on your to be read list, and you're thinking, oh no, I've never heard of it, but I really want to check that out, then again, please do let us know, because it's always great to find out what you're interested in reading. And if you do read it, I hope you get the same sort of emotional connection with the characters that I did and enjoy it as much as I did as well. Bye.